The following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zappos, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Welcome to Zappos. It is Tuesday night. That means it is time for the Cougar Basketball Hour. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Chris King next to the head coach of the Cougs. Give it up for David Riley here as we have the pleasure each and every week of getting caught up with the coach of the Cougs, David Riley. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. We just had a good practice down in Bowler, so we'll get back on track on Thursday.
Well, the team, let's take a look back on what happened last week, and it's been a while, I'll say, what's to come, since the team has been on the road for 2 straight games. It's been a lot of kind of split weeks, one on the road, one at home, but the team is on the road this week, and looking forward to those matchups, Pacific on Thursday, and then the University of San Francisco on Saturday. But a couple games to look back on. First, we'll start with that Santa Clara matchup on Thursday. The team traveling to take on the Broncos, 93-65, the final score in that game. How do you look back on that loss to Santa Clara?
You know, I think there were some really good moments from that game. We had some good stretches, but the real telling part was those 3 big runs that Santa Clara went on. And I think there's a good lesson for us where we got to build a little more mental toughness on the defensive side. We can't let teams get hot like that. I mean, Santa Clara is a really talented team. They're playing great basketball. I think they're the first team ever to put 100 up at the Kennel the couple last week. So they're playing great ball, but we got to find a way to break those runs. And, you know, we won by, I think, 18 points in 31 minutes, and the other 9 minutes we lost by 30-something. So we got to get those toxic runs taken out of our system. And
while the final outcome wasn't what the Cougs were hoping for, WSU history was made in that game. Lawan Watts became just the second player in program history to record a triple-double. Truly remarkable to do that. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. What allowed him to etch his name in the record books in that game on Thursday?
I think he was making quick decisions. Like we ask a lot of Lawan as a playmaker, as a scorer, as a rebounder, and you've seen different facets of that throughout the year where he's had good games in each one of those areas. And I just think he's still a young player. He's still learning a few things. As he starts to get more comfortable, you'll start seeing him, you know, have more complete games like that. And he just took what the defense gave him and had a pretty dang good game.
That is a complete game. When you have a triple-double like that, that is a very complete performance. So when that game's in full, and it happened a little bit against LMU, that game at the Spokane Arena in late December, being there on the broadcast, sitting next to Craig Elo, we're getting the stat sheets during every media timeout. We're keeping an eye on the stats, and he was within, you know, striking distance of a triple-double in that game. So Thursday rolls around. Well, Aches and I are like, well, you know, we're talking about on the broadcast. We know it's coming up. We're tracking every rebound, every assist as he gets close. For you, is that on your radar at all? Do you not find out till after the game? How does that work?
I noticed it with maybe 8 minutes to go that he was really filling the stat sheet. And I just kind of noticed it from a playmaking standpoint, like let's get him the ball more to try playmake a little bit more. And he was obviously having a heck of a game. You know, the LMU game, we're up, we're comfortable. That's when you start creeping in, thinking about, oh man, it's pretty cool for this kid to get a record like that. But it's tough for me in game to start thinking about those individual stuff.
Well, he came close to one against LMU. He gets the one against Santa Clara. And the only other time it has happened in program history, Kyle Weaver did it back in 2007. So he's in exceptionally good company. Well, let's at some point have him be the first Coug with 2 triple-doubles in program history. We've seen what he can do so far. That has been so much fun to see. And we should mention our guests here tonight, not only a chance to catch up with David Riley, but we'll have Donald Brady, assistant coach for the program, joining us. And also Reeve Vavers will be stopping by. And speaking of that game on Thursday, that was game number 21 of the season. Through those first 20 games, Reeve Vavers, with his tough injury luck, had only played in 2 games so far, but he made his return. How great was it to have him back?
It was awesome to see him coming in confident like that and knocking down shots. And he's a special player that really just kind of had some tough luck. he actually missed some of the fall with a different injury, and then he had the broken hands, and so it's asking a lot for him to come in and finish out these last 11, 12 games of the year for us. And I think he's got the mental fortitude and toughness to be able to do that. And he did some good things defensively for us for St. Mary's, and I think you'll see over the next 3 or 4 games him start to get even more comfortable.
And I know such a talented player, but just having another body back, that's a big deal, right, with the stretch that the team has had with only 8 available guys.
Yeah, these guys have done a lot, and I think just seeing these guys come back and practice, our practices have been more lively. Today was one of the more competitive days we've had in a while, and I think just getting more bodies out there and guys getting after it is going to help our consistency as well.
So that takes us to the matchup on Saturday at Beasley Coliseum. Good crowd there. An excellent college basketball game. Ultimately didn't go the Cougs' way at the end, but boy, very, very fun game if you're just a college basketball fan following along. St. Mary's getting the victory 80-75. Cougs had the edge for roughly 30 minutes of that game, and then St. Mary's able to turn the tide late. How do you look back on that matchup with the Gales Saturday?
First of all, I just think it was one of the best college basketball games I've been a part of. Like when you look at the shot making down the stretch, really the shot making the whole game, but down the stretch you got 6'10" Ethan Price hitting sidestep threes. You got their big Lithuanian hitting fadeaways off the bounce. I mean, there was some really, really good shot making, some great defensive stands, and just unfortunately we weren't able to finish it out. But I think we learned a lot. I thought we got more consistent. You talk about the 30-31 minutes versus Santa Clara, we played good. I think it was more like 35, 34 versus St. Mary's, and that's the difference when you're playing these high-level teams like at the top of the WCC. You got to play a full 40 minutes, and so I think it's just another step in the road that we got to find a way to finish out.
And that's a team the Cougs will see at minimum once more, and of course seeing them more than once, not out of the realm of possibility when everyone is down in Vegas for the WCC tournament. I know before the game, and you look at St. Mary's numbers, a lot is made of what they can do on the glass, but in that game, boy, there weren't a lot of missed shots. Both teams shot 57%, so there were some crucial rebounds for both teams, but boy, there just weren't a lot of rebounding opportunities.
No, I think they had 2 really big ones down the stretch last 5 minutes that were key, and those keys to the game. Obviously, you don't want them to take over a game, but really in the last few minutes, that's where they shine through, and they made some big plays in the glass. But I thought our guys battled. You could see the physicality. I thought Dane Erickstrip early on was doing a heck of a job on Saxton, keeping him off the glass, and some really good signs.
So as we talk here right now, the Cougs have not played Oregon State, and the Cougs will only play Oregon State once. That will be at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis. They will not come to Beasley this year. Let's put Oregon State to the side. The team has now faced all the squads that are right up there in the top of the WCC: Gonzaga, St. Mary's, San Francisco, Santa Clara. What's it been like having seen those programs at one time through to this point?
It's kind of, I knew walking in that the WCC was going to be really good, but I was actually talking to some of our admin yesterday, and we were talking about scheduling for the next year, and when you look at the WCC, the strength of schedule is right up there with what the Pac-12 was last year. When you say, like, okay, Santa Clara, Gonzaga, St. Mary's, USF, LMU, Oregon State, that's 6 quad 1 or 2 games that you're going to play, or teams. There's a 12 quad 1 or 2 games. Like, that's exactly what Washington State had last year in the Pac-12. And so, we've got a gauntlet, and when you got to execute for 40 minutes against these teams, and I think it's just really fun to play in these environments. You talk about on Saturday, Beasley was loud. We had the student section going. It was, we were getting those 30-second shot clock violations. The whole place was going crazy. It was a really fun environment, and we just got to figure out how to keep closing those games.
And that next home game, again, the team will be on the road for the next 3 games, but looking forward to seeing everyone at Beasley when we all can be back there together on February 8th. It will be against Pepperdine, and then after that, some really crucial matchups will be at Beasley. The Gonzaga game, February 19th. I know tickets are very limited for that, so don't hesitate if you don't have your hands on your tickets for that game yet. Santa Clara on February 22nd, and then San Diego on February 27th. So those remaining home games. All going to be great opportunities to come on out and to cheer on David Riley's team. With that, we will take a break here from Zeppos on the Cougar Basketball Hour. When we come back, we'll have more with David Riley. And again, our guest tonight that will stop by a little bit later, we'll have Donald Brady, assistant coach, and Vavers all set here for the Cougar Basketball Hour. More after this. You're tuned in to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Zeppos.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and, of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
You're listening to Cougar Basketball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now's a great time to reconsider.
In the Pacific Northwest, it's never too cold for an iced coffee in the morning. Grab yourself a medium caramel, French vanilla, or classic iced coffee for just $2.29. Warning, beverage may cause craving for McMuffin or hash browns. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The next time you visit Northern Quest, we suggest bringing your sea legs and your lead foot. It's the $100,000 Ben's Voyage giveaway. Play daily with your Camus Rewards card, and you could win a cruise line adventure. Or a brand new Mercedes GLC 300 with an inline-4 turbo. Tax and licensing included. Speeding tickets are on you, though. The Ben's Voyage giveaway. Grand prize drawing March 31st. Details at northernquest.com.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Joe look wraparound pass, two-handed throwdown dunk, making a 10-0 Cougar run.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppos on the Cougar Basketball Hour, not only joined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, right next to him here at Zeppos, but coming up a little later on, assistant coach Donald Brady will join us, and Vavers will stop by as well. We'd like to give a big thank you to one of our sponsors of the show, Northern Quest. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Well, the Cougs on the road this week, again next to David Riley, and it's a matchup against Pacific on Thursday and then San Francisco on Saturday. The Dons, a really strong program. That was a heck of a first matchup. The Cougs got the victory over USF here at Beasley in the first go-around. But I know for you, for where you grew up, that wasn't too far away, and you actually went to some games at the University of San Francisco when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in Palo Alto, about 45 minutes from USF's campus, and my dad's college roommate was Adam Morrison's high school coach, and so I was always a big Morrison fan. And so we went. I just turned 16, and I drove up with two of my friends to watch the USF game, and parking was crazy because at that time Morrison was the biggest deal in sports, and so they sold out the place. We were a little bit late, and so we parked on some random street, and the cross streets were Haight and Ashbury, and very, very interesting place, to say the least. And so that was like at 5 o'clock. We get back after walking around and hanging out to the game at like 11 o'clock at night. And there was some stuff that I had never seen in my life before going on those streets. And It was a heck of a game, and it was eye-opening. We really didn't spend much time in San Francisco growing up, so that was my first real taste of what it was like out there.
Well, you got one night in the corner of Hayden Ashbury. If that street could tell stories, I could only imagine. Are you going to take the team there to tell them that story?
Oh, no. We're going to business trip for us.
Business trip. There we go. Well, speaking of that, we're always thrilled to be here every Tuesday night during the basketball season for the Cougar Basketball Hour, and we not only get to be with you on Tuesday nights, typically the Cougar Basketball Hour for the women's side with Cammie Etheridge, and what another really, really impressive season that they have put together, and what a fabulous job that Cammie Etheridge and her staff has done. Since they played yesterday, they will be here tomorrow. So a reminder to everyone, the Cougar Basketball Hour tomorrow. Steve Grubbs will be with Cammie Etheridge. That will be tomorrow. And I'm just curious for you, first year leading the program on the men's side at WSU, what's it been like getting to know your counterpart, Cammie Etheridge?
She's been great. Really been impressed with the toughness that her teams play with, and you can see it. Like I remember walking in the summer, and the spring was tough. We were just trying to fill out our team. I didn't get a chance to connect with her too much during the spring, but I watched her teams work out a little bit in the summer, and they were getting after it, and they had girls flying around, and she was teaching, and I remember watching that, and then coming back in the weight room, and I see her on the elliptical with the arm things going, and she might work out harder than anyone in the athletic department as well. Like the energy that she has and the toughness that she brings into that program has been really impressive, and she's doing a great job with those girls, and they got a young team, and it's been really fun to kind of see their progress throughout the year.
So much for Coug fans to cheer for both basketball programs. And a reminder to everyone, if you're not planning on going down to the conference tournament, it's going to be a lot of fun there in Vegas with both programs down there at the Orleans Arena for the WCC tournament. Okay, so our guests tonight, excited to talk with both Ree Vavers and Donald Brady. Let's talk about Donald first. What does he bring to the coaching staff and to the program as a whole?
Donald joined me 1 year ago at Eastern, and someone that I had watched coach and recruit from a lot. He was a junior college coach and AAU coach on the west side over at Bellevue College and with Friends of Hoop AAU program. So I got to know him for the last 8 or 9 years in the Northwest when I was recruiting, and just having his experience as a head coach and his offensive knowledge has been a huge asset to the program. And I think he's getting comfortable with Pullman. He's got the most experience with Pullman of our entire staff. His wife is an alum, and so he's kind of been the one that's been showing us the ropes.
Yeah, that is fantastic. We're excited to talk to him about that, and I know he must have been thrilled when everything came together for you to get the job here, and you said, come on down. I'm sure that was a big deal, especially for his family. We'll also have Ree Vavers stopping by as well. We touched on his return, but what kind of player is he? You have talked in glowing terms about his shooting ability. What can Coug fans expect to continue to see? Because they've only gotten a little bit of taste of Ree Vavers so far when he'll be out there moving forward in the Cougar uniform.
Yeah, I think the Coug fans have seen the thing that stands out easiest with Ree's shooting ability, but as you see him start to get comfortable here and during the season and get a little bit of rhythm, like one of the smarter players I've coached, a great cutter, willing to throw his body around and be physical, and just a really complete player that's going to be really nice to have in our lineup right now. And the other piece is just a great person. He spent a lot of time in the States over on the East Coast, and when you listen to him on the radio, not too much of an accent. Like it's tough to tell he's got the Latvian accent, but he's a really smart player, really good guy, and just excited for you guys to see him.
And part of the international flavor that this team has as well, and really excited to talk to him about his background. Coach, thanks for getting us started here, setting the table. We'll have our guests coming up, and of course we'll have you back later on before the show comes to a close.
Go Cougs.
Again, that is David Riley, the head coach of the Cougs, here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. A reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards program. To join the program, visit WSUCougars.com/Toyota Rewards. More from Zeppos after this break. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 60 daily departures to more than 20 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines, as well as one-stop connections to most major metropolitan centers throughout the U.S. Real-time arrival and flight departure information is available at SpokaneAirports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Hey, this is Craig Elo, and you're listening to Washington State Basketball. Go Cougs!
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the WSU campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with the addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonByHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
Are you interested in your company reaching Coug fans in and out of game day? As the multimedia rights holder for Washington State Athletics, Washington State Sports Properties helps companies and organizations connect themselves to Cougar Athletics in unique and exciting ways. From LED signs to pregame parties to the radio ad you're hearing right now, Washington State Sports Properties is helping companies both large and small get in front of Coug fans on a daily basis. Reach out to Washington State Sports Properties to learn more about what sponsoring the Cougs can look like for you.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Up and under, off the glass, had to get the little spin on it, and he banks it in. 90 points for the Cougs. They're back up by 17.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zappos on the Cougar Basketball Hour. Not only do we have a great crowd like we normally do here, we even have a good chunk of the team here as well. So always fun to see the smiling faces of the Cougs who we've had already a chance to chat with and some folks that we'll get an opportunity to visit with coming up. But right now, pumped to bring in assistant coach for the program, Donald Brady. Donald, thanks for being here. How are you doing?
Doing well. Great to be here.
And, you know, as Coach Riley told us, your background is pretty unique as far as your Cougar ties. You look great in crimson and gray. Your hat is looking sharp. Your wife is a Coug.
She is.
How much did that mean to you, to your wife, to your family when this all came together over the offseason to be part of the staff here?
It was pretty wild, to be honest. I don't think she ever expected to be living back in Pullman after her time here. But, no, we were really excited. Obviously, as an adult, all my friends have been her friends in the Seattle area. They were all Cougs. So it wasn't just our family, but 30, 40 people who were so pumped to see our family back here and to be a part of this. So it's really cool.
When you have ties to the Northwest, to specifically the West Side, the Seattle area that we're going to dive into here, but tell us about your coaching journey, because I know coaching is in your blood. Did you know, because your dad was a longtime high school coach down in Palm Desert, right?
Correct.
Did you know that when you were a little kid, was there going to be a whistle hanging around your neck the rest of your life?
I think I knew, and I probably tried to fight it for as long as I could. So I tried to convince myself, I think all through college, that I was going to be a lawyer or, go into business or do something. And the opportunity kind of came up right as I was finishing up my senior year to be a GA at Redlands. And I probably thought about it for about 3 hours, and I became a GA, and I've been a coach ever since. So it was probably always kind of preordained. I tried to fight it, but it's been the only job I've ever had, so I can't really complain.
The pull is too strong, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and you get to be around great people. There's no lack of energy in this job. I know the hours might not be traditional, but it is fun, and it probably there's never a second that really feels like work, right?
No, you get used to the hours. That part, I think, obviously your family probably takes a bigger toll on them, but you get used to the hours, and I think you're right. I'm the old guy on staff, and I think these guys keep me young, so it's great.
I love to hear that. Well, the team actually played down in Palm Desert earlier this year, part of that MTE, SMU, and Fresno State. How cool was that to be back there?
I'll be honest, it was very cool. That arena, when it was first built, there's a really big deal for that town to kind of have like this kind of semi-pro hockey team. Is actually the Kraken's minor league team plays down there, so there was that tie. And then when they started playing basketball games last year in the arena, I thought it would be amazing to coach there. And one of the only games that was scheduled when we got the job was that MTE. And so, I had about 40 friends and my whole family. My parents got to be there front row and watch the Cougs. So it was great.
That is so cool to hear. And for you, your coaching journey, we mentioned, a lot of it has been in the greater Seattle area. Can you kind of walk us through how your path led you into coaching in the state of Washington and then getting connected with David Riley?
Yeah, absolutely. I started as a GA at Redlands. I did that for 2 years, and I didn't have a job. As I was finishing up, my wife was nice enough to, after she finished up at Wazoo, she moved down to LA for a year while I was coaching, and she hated it. And she wanted to come back to the Northwest and made it pretty clear. So I moved up without a job. I got really lucky to get hooked up with Jeremy Eggers, who was my first boss and my boss for a very long time. He was the head coach at Bellevue College at the time, and then he also ran the AAU program, Friends of Hoop, Seattle. And so I became an assistant with him. I coached with his AAU program, did that for a while. Eventually got a head coaching job at Shoreline Community College, which is also in the NWAC, also in the Seattle area. And then he kind of bumped up. He became the athletic director, and he brought me back over to Bellevue. So then I got to be the head coach at Bellevue College, right prior to coming over to Eastern with Dave. We met because he mostly recruited my AAU team. My community college teams couldn't quite have the talent every year to be Division I basketball players, but my AAU program had a few guys over the years, and that's kind of how I got to know Dave. And I actually coached against Dave, which is crazy. That's part about being the oldest guy on the staff is I think I've coached against 3 or 4 of the guys that are on staff at some point, whether it was AAU or community college, or in Dave's case when he was a freshman at Whitworth, I was a GA at Redlands.
Wow.
Yeah. He beat us.
It's crazy how life works.
It really is.
And here you both are at this point working shoulder to shoulder. I have a tremendous amount of respect, and there's nothing wrong with people who have been at a high level and that they have been there and that's all they've ever known. No knock on that. I also have a tremendous amount of respect for people because I know at the community college level, there's not a ton of resources. There's not necessarily a lot of glitz and glamour that when you're the head coach, that's also one of probably 50 other jobs that you have. Is it not lost on you some of the things that come with being at a program like WSU?
Oh, absolutely. I think the jump in terms of support and just the people that are involved with this program across the board, I mean, it's the admin, the support system throughout the athletic department is unreal. And it helps me kind of, I think, work with our support staff and understand where they're coming from because, I was never a director of basketball operations, but I was a JUCO assistant coach, and I did laundry many times. I drove a lot of vans. I scheduled a lot of stuff, and they joke whenever there's a hiccup and they can't be involved, I turn into JUCO Don and I start taking over and start doing all the operations. So, it's a great I don't think I'd be where I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't done that, and I think it really benefited me to have all those experiences to really enjoy this level now that I'm at it.
Well, that is fantastic to hear, and having your ties in the Seattle area. I know when the staff got brought on in the spring, it was sort of drinking from a fire hose of putting the team together, but is building towards the future. I imagine it doesn't hurt that you have your deep Seattle ties and what a talent-rich area that is.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's talent on the west side. There's talent in the state of Washington. There's talent in the Northwest. I mean, I think, we didn't get an opportunity to really go after a lot of high school kids this past year because we got the job so late and so many of them had committed. But, one of the guys that we did get late was Case Wynot, who was a Northwest product who I do think our ties, Dave's ties to the Northwest really helped us in that situation, and I hope so going forward as well.
Okay, so now that you're here at WSU, had you spent time with so your wife's a Coug? Did you come over here and go to maybe games or anything?
I had been to the Coug.
Okay.
In Valhalla. I was 21, so yeah.
What did you do there? Have a soda?
I water and cheeseburger. The great burgers. The Tuesday burger at the Coug is really good. I've been up here once or twice for a week here or there. I was here for commencement when she graduated, and so I got to see the town, but I didn't get to see much of it. You don't see much of it when you're that age. Obviously, learned a lot more about it now, and we love it. It's great.
What's the best part of now that you and your wife, you got your family here? What's the best part of being part of the Pullman community and being part of the program at WSU?
I think anybody who doesn't say the people is lying when they talk about Wazoo. It's the community, it's the support, it's the fans that come out to our games, it's the way every flag, everything is Wazoo, is a Coug. It's just when we recruit, that's what we sell. It's a real college town. I mean, it's real support here, and my kids, they know the fight song. Like it's ingrained in you once you become a part of it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, it is fun to have you here, and I know a lot of folks here really enjoyed getting to hear the backstory about not only it's special to be here for this program, but what it means for your family. Donald, thanks for the time,
Absolutely.
And looking forward to what you and the coaching staff and the team has in front of them the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That is Donald Brady, assistant coach for the Cougar basketball team, stopping by here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We'll take a timeout. Still to come, we'll have Vavers join us, and David Riley will stop back by once more a little bit later on. You are tuned in live from Zeppo's to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
You know what I could really go for right now? Literally anything that comes in a McDonald's carton, wrapper, or bag. Or a McDonald's cup. Yes, any of those items should do it.
Or Cougar fans, why not get them all? Order with the app and get a bacon double cheeseburger, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, and soft drink for only $7. Offer valid exclusively in the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards at participating restaurants.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Around here, the community is everything. At Adams Tractor, our strength is in machinery, but our passion is in building relationships. For nearly a century, Adams Tractor has been supporting local nonprofits and organizations all across the Northwest, demonstrating our commitment to the regions we serve. We're more than just your go-to Kubota dealer. We're dedicated to making life easier. Adams Tractor, where passion meets Kubota strength.
This is Cougar Basketball from Learfield.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
This Cougar Moment is sponsored by Brown Family Vineyards. Brown Family honors the legacy of founder Andrew Brown's late grandfather, William Bittner Brown. Every decision made, from farm to glass, reflects their commitment to premium Northwest wine and spirits. Whether you're visiting one of Brown's tasting rooms or opening a bottle in your own home, Andrew and his wife Courtney welcome you to their extended family, where good friends, good food and wine, and good times are always on the agenda. Stop by one of our tasting rooms in Spokane, Walla Walla, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, or Portland, and get 20% off a glass this season when you mention WSU.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Behind the back dish, throw down, Cougar is done. What a dunk that brings the fans to their feet here at Beasley.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour. Washington State on the road this week. Thursday night against Pacific. Saturday, the team taking on the Dons. The opponent, San Francisco. Both games getting started at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Our coverage will begin a half hour prior here on the radio network. Myself and Craig Elo will be there for both of them. And now we're excited to welcome in Ree Vavers, sophomore for the program. Ree, it's great to see you tonight. It's great having you back healthy and available to play as of last week. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Finally out there playing with the guys, so I'm feeling really good.
Oh, gosh, I felt so bad for you. You get injured in the opener against Portland State. You're out to the Nevada game, and then you get injured in that game. You miss the next 11 games, but back as of last Thursday, playing in both games last week. What was it like going through that? That obviously not a fun curveball to be thrown. How was it navigating those injuries and finally being back in action?
It was tough. It was tough being on the sideline watching the guys play when I want to be out there with them. But something that athlete got to go through, and I think it prepared me mentally, and now I'm ready to go out there and play with them.
Something myself and Craig Elo were saying on the broadcast Thursday. That first half, you certainly didn't look like you had any rust. Came out and shooting and seeing what a great shooter that you are. How was it? I know it might take a little bit of time to kind of get your sea legs back underneath you. How was it having those first two games back?
It felt good. I think guys found me. I got my shots, and now I'm catching the rhythm back. So it's just from here. So every game I just take it step by step, and yeah.
Latvia is your home country. Take us through your basketball journey that brought you from your home country to the U.S. and ultimately here to the Palouse.
Yeah, I started playing basketball when I was like 9, 10 years old. Moved to D.C. to play high school basketball. Went to prep school in Atlanta. Did my freshman year at Quinnipiac University, and now I'm here at WSU.
Well, you're a long ways from home, but you're also a pretty long ways from any spot you've ever been at in the U.S. I'm curious, when you came to the U.S., was that just, hey, basketball is what I'm pursuing, this gives me the best opportunity? Is that what brought you here?
Yes. High school took me in, took the scholarship, and it was just a new beginning from there.
Freshman year at Quinnipiac, so Connecticut is a good amount of ways from the Palouse. You enter the transfer portal, you're looking for your next home. You get contacted by David Riley. Hey, WSU, come check it out. We want you. What did you know about WSU? What's it been like since you've been here?
Didn't know a lot. The guys, when I was on the visit, they felt like family. They introduced everything. It was their first week here too, so it was them and me get to know campus. But it was great. They made it feel like family. The development piece that they mentioned was great, and I just took it. So yeah.
For people who don't know a ton about your home country, Latvia, that they've heard about it, but maybe couldn't rattle off 10, 20 facts about your home country, how would you describe where you're from?
It's beautiful. I mean, it's maybe not what a lot of people expect, but it's beautiful. I would definitely recommend people visit it there. Beautiful spots. My hometown's pretty beautiful. The old town is really cool when the nightlight hits. But yeah, it's definitely worth visiting.
And how big of a deal is basketball in your home country?
It's definitely grown the last 3-4 years. There was a World Cup. We placed 5th. We beat France, Spain. When I was growing up, it wasn't as big as it now, but definitely it's been growing. Sure.
Is there a player or two, either current or maybe a little bit back in the day, that if you grew up in Latvia and you love basketball, these guys are your heroes?
Porzingis for sure. I mean, he's playing with the Celtics, and he's been showing what it is to take it and go from Latvia to NBA. So I'm trying to follow his footsteps. So, yeah, him for sure.
That's fantastic. Have you had a chance to meet him?
I met him, yeah. I met him a couple of times. I haven't really had a long time of talking to him, but I met him at national team camps, and, yeah.
So let's say your teammates, who a lot of them are here tonight, if they're asking you about your home country, what are you telling them about it? If they're saying, I don't know anything about Latvia, what are you telling your guys about, hey, what your home is like?
They got to come out with me. This summer when we're planning the European trip, they got to come to Latvia and see what it's like.
That's going to be a great trip. I know Pedro was telling us a little bit about that last week, and what a great life experience that you and your teammates will be able to have. So coming to the U.S. at 15, I know you speak 2 languages, and your English is good. I mean, your English is sharp. Was there any sort of culture shock? Was there a huge adjustment, or is the language of basketball pretty universal and that allowed you to hit the ground running?
I was pretty shy at first when I got to high school, but then I opened up a little bit. But I learned it a little bit back home. Wasn't really good, but just being around, being in the United States has opened up for me, and now I feel pretty comfortable.
Well, now that you're here on the Palouse, you've been in Pullman, you've been a part of this program here at WSU. What's your favorite thing about being a Coug?
The fans, everybody, everything. Fan base is great. My teammates are great. The coaching staff is great. I love it so far, so can't complain about nothing.
As far as life in the classroom, what are you currently studying?
I'm a sports management major.
Okay, there we go. And for you, is it fair to say you want to play basketball as long as you can?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's my dream. I'll play as long as I can, but if it doesn't work out, I want to be a basketball agent or whatever the field may be, but I just want to stay around basketball for sure.
That sounds great. So the team playing this week, Pacific on Thursday night, San Francisco on Saturday. Pacific, that's one I know that was a tough loss for the team, losing at home on a buzzer beater. The Pacific was able to hit in overtime, and the team got the victory over San Francisco in that first matchup, looking for the regular season sweep over the Dons. You were there cheering on your teammates, but unable to play at that point. How excited are you to have a crack at these two teams you haven't been able to play yet this year?
I'm excited. I mean, we're going to go over there, beat them, celebrate it, beat the Dons again, and just taking it step by step, locking in on practice, learning from what we did wrong the first time, and just going out there and competing.
A fun week of hoops ahead for the Cougs. Ree Vavers, our guest. Ree, thank you for being here. It's great having you on the Palouse, and I know Coug fans are excited to see you to be continued in action the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Again, that is Ree Vavers, our guest here on the Cougar Basketball Hour. We are live from Zeppo's. We roll on after this break. When we return, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. You're tuned in to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to Cougar Basketball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Get your home turf ready to play with the game-changing performance of Steel. Enjoy big savings this fall on Steel handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at over 10,000 local Steel dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game. Experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Joe look, wrap-around pass, two-handed throw-down dunk, make it a 10-0 Cougar run.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Once again, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Well, the Junior Cougs Kids Club, it is presented by Toyota and is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Back here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour, joined once again by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. And Coach, we're taking a look at what is coming up for the team this week. So on the road, and it's two squads the Cougs have faced once before. First will be that rematch with Pacific. The first game, the Cougs fell in that one. It was a one when it went right down to the wire. The team rallying, forcing overtime, but Lamar Washington hitting a game-winning three at the buzzer. I know that one still leaves a bad taste in the mouth with the Cougs, ultimately falling short there. What is running through your mind when you're thinking about round two with Pacific?
That was a tough loss. That was a game that we felt like we had a little bit of letdown. But for us, it's exciting to see how far we've come. I think we've improved a lot since that game, and I think we've got a few things that we put in that helped us become a better defensive team. So it's a chance for us to see what we've improved on.
And that takes us to Saturday. The squad will take on San Francisco. Both of these games will tip off at 7 o'clock. So the Cougs got the best of the Dons in that first matchup in Pullman. What are you expecting when it comes to facing them for that second time around on their home court Saturday night?
Yeah, that's going to be a great college basketball game. I'm sure the environment will be really good down in San Francisco. So two great guards that we got to really slow down, and overall just a talented team that puts you in a lot of positions where you got to guard, puts you on the ball. You got to kind of choose what you're giving up. So. And a team that's got a chip on their shoulder against us, and I think it'll be a competitive game.
And thinking back to those first two meetings with the two programs, there was no lack of scoring. Cougs beat San Francisco in that first matchup 91-82. The Pacific game went to overtime at 95-94. So it was high-scoring affairs the first time around against both.
Well, that's just a chance for us to see how far we come on defense.
Well, there we go. And I know we have most of the team here at Zeppo's tonight, so I'm sure that goes right to their ears. And, the travel, and, we do. Do we have everyone here, Coach? You've got an accounting here.
They got a few of the guys here. I mean, we got at least 7 or 8, looks like. Got my old point guard from Eastern Washington. We got Ellis Magnuson out here too. So
there we go. A lot of smiles back there. A number of them. We got Ellis back there. I remember seeing Ellis play and what a role he played for your team at Eastern Washington, and teammates with a bunch of the guys here for the Cougs now, and a lot of smiling faces that we've had the chance to talk to, but a lot of guys that we're looking forward to get to visit with on our remaining editions of the Cougar Basketball Hour. Something this week, it's a stretch of 6 straight weeks where the Cougs have at least one game on the road. But this is one week where both of the games are on the road. How is it having the WCC schedule where it is a lot of split weeks, where maybe Thursdays on the road but Saturdays at home? But this week it is, hey, we're out, you leave Wednesday, you get back Sunday.
I think it makes a ton of sense, to be honest with you, to go on the road and play two teams that are pretty close to each other. I think it's like an hour and a half away from Stockton to San Francisco. So it's kind of shocking to me that we haven't done this all year, to go down to Santa Clara and then come back up here to play St. Mary's and vice versa later on in the month is I'm sure they have their reasons, but the Pac-12 wasn't doing it. The Big Sky wasn't doing it. And yeah, for some reason the WCC does.
It has been interesting, but this will be more of a traditional week travel-wise for the Cougs. This week is done. It's Oregon State the following week, and then a lot of home games between that point and the end of the regular season. We'll take another break here from Zeppo's. When we return, more with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. That's after this timeout. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour from Learfield.
If you've been having your McDonald's sausage McMuffin with an iced coffee from somewhere else, now's a great time to reconsider.
In the Pacific Northwest, it's never too cold for an iced coffee in the morning. Grab yourself a medium caramel, French vanilla, or classic iced coffee for just $2.29. Warning, beverage may cause craving for McMuffin or hash browns. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
At US Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you. Because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. From the versatile RAV4 to the svelte Crown, the sleek Camry all-wheel drive, the Corolla Hybrid all-wheel drive, the rugged Tacoma, the tenacious Tundra, and the spacious Grand Highlander with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. Hey, you bring the action, we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light. Choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Basketball Hour, talking about what's coming up for Washington State, the team this week on the road, taking on Pacific Thursday night, and then San Francisco on Saturday night, both games starting at 7 o'clock Pacific time. And it's pretty cool here, Coach. I know everyone in the audience, I have had a blast getting to know the players on your team, the coaches that are part of your staff, but I know something you preach is having a tight-knit squad, and I think seeing most of the team here tonight eating, they were cheering loud when we had Donald Brady up and we had Vavers up. How is it building that chemistry and putting guys in a position where they're not just teammates, but they're close, and where that translates out onto the court? Who was that? Do you recognize the voice?
Yeah, that's Cedric.
Okay.
Now, these guys just heard that they got a free meal, so they're all showing up tonight. No, I think it just kind of shows the character of the guys that we've recruited, and they all understand that if you want to succeed, you want to win, you want to go far, you can't do it alone. And I think they really bought into the idea of building that chemistry and building these relationships. And that's what makes college great. Like, whether you're in on a basketball team or you're just at school here in Pullman, like these relationships that you're going to build is kind of the key part of it. And they've all fallen in line with that. And it's going to be key for us to finish out the season like we want to. We have to stick together and get a little more chemistry on offense and defense, and hopefully take that next step.
So we've heard about this foreign trip that's kind of on the horizon in the summer, which will be outstanding for a life experience for these guys. But let's rewind a little bit. Over the summer, it might not have been as far away, but correct me if I'm wrong, there was a trip the team took together as a bonding trip not that far away that involved some camping?
Yeah, we took the guys down. It was somewhere around McCall, Idaho. Went camping for a night. Grilled burgers and had a good time, and then the next morning went rafting down. It wasn't the Snake. It was one of those rivers right by there, and had a great time rafting down the river and drove back. So try to get guys outside their comfort zone, get them to rely on each other a little bit. I think maybe 4 or 5 of our guys have gone camping before, and the rest of them it was a little bit of a new experience.
I was just going to ask, do we have a group of natural outdoorsmen here? Did you have to lean it? If you had to start a fire, who would you turn to on this team?
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't know. The front two guys, Marcus and Isaiah, right there. I'm not too sure about those two. ND just wanted to sleep. I remember he was tired by the end of it. We had Cedric that was cooking up. I think it was Dane, or it might have been Sean that caught a fish, and Cedric got to cooking it, and he was giving all the guys different samples of it. So they were doing all right out there.
How many guys asked, when do I get to charge my cell phone?
No, we were good. There wasn't too much technology out. They did bring a speaker, and I think Ethan was leading some impersonations of the coaches at one point. But besides that, there wasn't too much technology going around.
Oh, I think that begs a follow-up question. Who is the most impersonated coach?
That's got to be Pedro. I mean, there's rumors that our managers have been doing Pedro impressions at the frats on the weekends as well. So he's making his presence known at Wazoo.
Boy, I bet that those are rowdy parties when that is that's part of the entertainment there. Does the head coach get impersonated, or does that only happen behind closed doors, or it just doesn't happen?
They may dabble in that, but they're smart enough to know that they don't want to piss off the guy that has playing time.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair right there. Well, we love hearing about that team bonding, and I know during the season there's some opportunities, but maybe not quite as extensive as that to get away from basketball a little bit.
Yeah, our guys, they'll. I've got a rule. I think if they got 8 or 9 of them together, we'll bring a coach out there and make it a team meal, and we'll pay for it. And so I just think any time that they can get together and spend time and hang out outside the court is important. So they find time to go do that.
It's a competitive bunch. It was NBA 2K night on Saturday. We saw those cool posters we were showing off here last week. Is this a group of gamers? Is it like the competitive juices flow over there? Do you hear about them playing 2K or some other game?
Yeah, there's definitely some gamers. Ironically, the guy who won we did a competition for the 2K night. The guy who won doesn't play too many video games apparently. But yeah, I'm sure Nate Calmise right now is on the game back at home. He's not here at dinner. Cedric's a big gamer. We got a lot of guys that are. I know Cedric's a Madden guy. We got some Fortnite people out there, so yeah, they get on there quite a bit.
Oh, that is
hopefully not too much.
That is fun to hear. Their coach is NBA 2K. When you hear it's NBA 2K night, is that? I mean, you don't have time to pick up the controller, do you?
I haven't been on the game for a while. But Madden was kind of my only deal back in the day.
Okay. What about like NBA Jam? How far back are we going?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to have a gaming system growing up. I was one of those households, so we had to find ways to sneak computer games. So I didn't get to play the basketball ones.
You're busy in the gym. Makes sense. Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks as always, and we'll talk to you next before the game Thursday.
Go Cougs.
Again, a big thanks to not only the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, but to all of our guests tonight, Vavers and Donald Brady. A huge thanks to Luke Hallett back in the US Bank Network studios. Here at Zappos, on the video side, Jared Pringruber, and on the audio side, Jerry Kylo. I'm Chris King signing off. Thanks so much for tuning in. You have been listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour live from Zappos here from Learfield.